All right, let's get it on. Third angle theorem, which means what? That one is congruent to another one, and one is congruent to 4. So in this case, this one is congruent to this one, right?
Yes.
And this one is congruent to this one, right?
Yes.
So therefore what? We had it. We were there. So 1 is congruent to 6. And 2 is congruent to 5. So 3 is congruent to 4. Right? So these two are congruent. So 1 is congruent to 6. And 2 is congruent to 5. So 3 is congruent to 4. Which means what? 3y squared.
And 12y squared minus 144.
Because third angle theorem. Perfect. Awesome. Next, someone else. Someone else. That girl knock her silly. All right. She's wobbling a little bit. See, that was a good one. What now? What now? Who's got this?
Add 140.
You gotta get rid of that 12y squared.
The 12y squared or the 3y squared? Because you're on the right track. If we do that, it will make it negative on this side. Which one do we like to move? The lowest variable, which is?
What?
It will make it 0 on that side though, right? Which is kind of funky. And that's okay though. It's alright. We'll be alright. And that's why I'm not letting her hit you. Like, hey, hold up. You just kicked them in the below.
1 minute.
You gotta back up. Slow it down. Okay? So we're going to move the lowest one. How? Subtract 3y squared minus 3y squared. And we get 0 on this side, right? That's the funky part. And then 9y squared minus 144. And then, yeah, subtraction property of equality. Sorry, I'm writing it. Subtraction property of equality. Now, this isn't even fair. I put you guys up against Ronda Rousey.
Anyway, we add 1.
Okay, we can do that. We want me to show you what we got to do now?
Yeah.
We could add 144, then divide by 9, but then take the square root of both sides. Eh? Or we could do what we were supposed to learn in Algebra 1, which we didn't learn, and it's not your fault. Okay? And that is factor. Okay? Because this equals 0, we're going to learn factoring. And this is a factor of 2 squares. A difference of 2 squares. Okay? So there's a difference. And is 9 a square? Of what? What's 9 a square of? 3. Right? And y squared is a square of? Y squared is a square of? Y. So there's 3y. Right? What's the square root, or what's the square of 144? 12. So we're going to take these 2 squares and we're going to put them down here. And then we're going to write the conjugate. Right? The conjugate. That's a J, by the way. And the conjugate is the same thing, but with a plus. Okay? And it's going to equal 0 And then I'm going to set each one equal to 0. Okay? So this is a factoring property. Okay? So we factor. Okay? And then we say 3y minus 12 equals 0. And 3y plus 12 equals 0. And the property of zeros. Okay? And then we're going to subtract 12. Subtract 12. We get 3y equals negative 12. Right? And that's subtraction prop of equality. And then divide by 3. Divide by 3. I get y is equal to negative 4. Not very possible in a triangle, right? Negatives, not going to work very well. So then we do the other side. Okay? Wait a minute, that should have been a plus 12. Why did I minus? I have to add. That's addition property. That's a positive 12. That does work well, by the way. The other one is what I would have done on that side, which is minus 12 and minus 12. 3y equals minus 12. Right? And so y is equal to minus 4. This one doesn't work very well in there. So y is equal to 4, right? And so if y is 4, we plug it back in. 4 squared is 16, and 16 times 3 is 30 plus 18, which is 48. So this better be 48 also. Right? So you got 16 times 12 minus 144. Oh yeah, 48. Okay, and so there you go. Yay, team.